Welcome to From the Stands, your one-stop shop podcast for insider access and in-depth interviews with your favorite Billiken coaches and players. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Billiken Podcast for the latest news on future episodes. Now, here is your host, Billiken Athletic Director, Chris May.
Welcome back, Billiken fans, to From the Stands, where we talk Billiken athletics here on our podcast. He doesn't need an intro, but we've got Big Robbie with us today, Robbie Avila, the basketball star from Oak Forest, Illinois. Welcome back, Robbie. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me back.
Hey, good to have you. We were talking a little bit before we kicked off here, and part of what I wanted to talk to you about is your ability to see the game, your ability, and I've got all kinds of stats. I should go over the stats, excuse me. Preseason, A10 first team, CBS Top 100, Naismith watch list, field of 68 top forwards, on and on and on. Okay, so we got that done. We know you can score. We know you play the game. I've been fascinated on how you look at the game and how you communicate about the game, and almost from a coach perspective. Have you always had that? Have you always had the ability to see it and be able to really communicate it pretty clearly how the game plays itself out? I've listened to you post-game. You have a pretty even keel about the good plays and the bad plays. Tell us a little bit about how you've developed that.
I think first off, just being blessed with the coaches that I've had. You know, whether it was high school, Coach Mansky. He was a really really smart guy. Really knew the game. Outside of just scoring, and knew what it took to win. Knew that there was smaller things that it takes to be good and be able to win consistently. And even then with my my AAU coaches that I had, they were, they saw the game differently. They knew that it wasn't going to take, just outscoring your opponents. And so I think, starting at the younger age, being blessed with those kind of coaches kind of helped me, being able to understand, a little bit more about the game and what it takes to, be successful, at certain levels. And obviously it's going to take, more and more, the higher level you get to. And obviously being with Coach Schurz these last 3 years, he's even taking it to another level with seeing the game. I think he's elevated my basketball IQ, which I already thought was pretty high coming in, but he kind of showed me that there's a bigger step to it. And so being blessed with smart coaches that understand things and know what it takes to be successful, all different types of levels, I think kind of allowed me to up my basketball IQ and being able to see the game a little bit differently than most players. And, I think because I see the game differently, kind of allows me to, keep that, even mind, no matter what. I think every team needs a guy that's able to, not ride the highs and lows, being able to stay, right in the middle, when things are going bad, being able to stay in the middle, and then things are really, really good, being able to stay in the middle. And I think it's important, to have somebody like that, so I kind of bring that to our team. I've always brought that to our teams over the past, again, in high school, we had my brother who was, the leader of the team, for 2 years. And he was a guy that, the big energy guy, really, played the game with a lot of passion, a lot of motion. I was kind of able to keep the guys, together, in the last 2 years at Indiana State, we had a couple guys that, brought the energy. And, so, I think I'm able to, bring that, calmness that, allows us to stay focused on the task at hand.
How does that calmness help you in your game, the way you want to play? Because you seem pretty level out there. Pretty level, but your motor's going all the time in different ways. How does that help you in how you're trying to play?
I think it allows me to just continue to play to my strengths. No matter what. We go down and score 10 in a row, and the game's not over after we score the 10 in a row. And so you got to be able to continue to play well. Continue to go back on defense and guard. And so I think it allows me to, play to my, level no matter the circumstance. Even if we gave up, 10 buckets in a row, you got to be able to continue to play the game. The game just doesn't end after, a certain stretch or a certain play. You got to go ahead and continue to play until that last buzzer goes off. And so I think it allows me to kind of play, my game in no matter any situation.
How much basketball do you watch?
I'm not much of an NBA watcher. I really don't watch like games. I'm not really even I watch college a little bit more, these last few years. I got a lot of, close friends that are playing for other teams, and so I like to, cheer them on and tune into their games. But, I'm more of a film watcher. I don't really watch, live games. I'm not turning on, the NBA game that's playing tonight. I'm more of a go back and watch, a film, highlight on YouTube that, breaks down certain things. Obviously with our coaches, we watch a lot of films on ourselves, and then ZB, AP, Fang, they'll put in together some like NBA clips too as well. And so, like I said, I'm not more of like a live, basketball watcher, but I watch a lot of, breakdown film and stuff like that.
What part of your basketball IQ are you trying to get better at? What's the space that you're really trying to learn the game? You obviously have an elite offensive mind, offensive game, and I got a question that I got to ask you next to that, but what part of your basketball space are you trying to get better at?
I think my offensive IQ can obviously, still get way better. Obviously, as a player, a student of the game, you never want to, settle yourself and say you can't learn anymore on, one of the other ends. But I think the biggest thing is, that people overlook is really having a defensive IQ too, being able to see and predict what another team's doing and, kind of putting yourself in a situation to stop that, before it even happens. We had a guy last year, Xavier Bledson, who had like amazing defensive IQ. He wasn't, the fastest or the highest jumping, but he was able to see what the opponents were going to do and was able to put himself in the situation to stop that play. And, really made him, such a great team defender. And so I think that's something that I need to continue to develop is, being able to, see, opponent sets and, be smarter on the defensive end so that I'm able to put myself in that position to, be better on the defensive side.
Coach Schertz, known as a basketball, right, stats guy, numbers guy, analytics guy. What are the big pieces that you've really learned from Coach Schertz?
I would say that, numbers don't lie. Obviously we pull up a lot of stats.
And film doesn't either, right?
Film doesn't either. It's one of his favorite sayings. But, obviously we pull up a lot of stats and, it shows, rankings within the NCAA. There's 364 teams, and so he pulls up, things that you think wouldn't matter, like offensive rebound rate, getting your percentage of your shots back, and how that affects your efficiency on offense. The higher percentage you get your shots missed back, the easier buckets you get, skyrockets your efficiency. Defensive rating over 100 possessions. He shows stuff like that. How many points per possession you should give up. I think we look at a lot of those, small stats. Obviously everybody looks at points per games, assists, turnovers, rebounds, and the big stats that you show up on box scores. But not everybody looking at the the smaller breakdown stats that Schertz does look at, because he knows that those things are what actually equates to winning versus how many points you score, how many points you give up. It's a little bit bigger than that.
So Robbie, last night had a ball game. You came down and almost put one up from about almost half court. It looked like you were going, then you came down. You've got great range. Is it just a feel? Is it just a feel if you're in range or not? Because it seems like ranges can change. And man, when you put that nice soft follow through, there's nothing but net. Is it just a feel for how deep you are? Do you just have a sense and know?
Yeah, I kind of, know where I'm at on the court. I'm not Steph Curry. I'm not going to be shooting pull-ups, from half court, So, if I am one dribble in and I throw a shot fake and you fall for it, that's on you, because I'm definitely not going to shoot that one.
You did one last night. Somebody went flying. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I thought it was going up.
I've worked on my game a lot. Again, I can get way better. I put countless hours in the gym. I'm going to continue to put more hours in the gym to try and, polish my game as much as possible. But, I've worked real hard on, shooting the basketball, and, I think I deserve to shoot those kind of shots and, make those kind of shots. And so I'm going to continue to work better at that. And if I do start pulling up like Steph Curry, then, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. How about your teammates? As you go on this journey, who are those teammates that you really bring along with you? The young ones especially. You're the upperclassman, right? You're the elder statesman. How do you put your arms around the young guys, and how do you bring them along?
Obviously, a couple of the guys on the team, I've had history with, obviously Isaiah Swope, we played last year together. And so coming together here, we've already, built a pretty strong relationship. And then Andre, we've, grown up together, since middle school. And so, again, we've had that, strong relationship that, I know, no matter what's going on, those are my guys. And so, it's really about, what we did over the summer and, the preseason, and even now it continues on, just building that, brotherhood kind of relationship with everybody. And I think we've done that, at a, really good job. I think we're really created like a home environment for the team. Even if you feel like, you don't really want to talk to, to the guys like that, you still know you're around them and you got them no matter what. And so I think it's just about, showing the young guys that, this is more than just a basketball team. It's pretty much like another family. We spend, you know, 75% of every day with each other. We're with each other either on the court, off the court, at dinners, lifting, doing rehab together. Even when we go out together, just eat, individually with each other. I think we spend so much time together that we build a relationship with each other that isn't easily to break. It doesn't seem like it's big piece for a team's success, but it actually is. You have to be able to count on your guys to your left and your right, and really care for them. I think the best teams get that relationship piece correct, and when that care factor for one another, that love for one another, is at the greatest. I think you can do so many amazing things.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And you mentioned something last night. We've had some good moments and we've had some not as good as we had hoped moments to date. But I thought you said it really well. There's a lot of basketball to be played. It's only December 18th, 19th, right? So as you look forward, we're getting ready to go to Grand Canyon. What are you trying to do, and what are you trying to do to help the team get ready as we finish out the non-conference schedule next 3 games, and then we're ready to roll come A10? What are you trying to get out of that, and how are you trying to help lead the team into that next step?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we've had some good moments. We've had some good pieces in games. We had a a good game here and there, but we haven't really put together a full game, which is an issue. But it's not the end of the world right now. Obviously you want to win all your games. We wish we would have won all our games and went undefeated up to this point. But it's just not the reality of the situation right now. And so we could either A, sob about it and give up, or B, what we're doing right now is continue on to fixate to the next game. We got Grand Canyon at Grand Canyon, which is a really really hard place to play with a really really good team this year. And so we have to shift our focus to trying to get better and trying to get ready for that game. It'll be a real tough game, and then even then we'll go on break, enjoy our time with our families, which would be much needed. I think I think it's important to get a break away for a quick second, but then we'll come back right again, finish out the non-conference against William Woods, and then really have to take steps up if we want to be able to compete. This is a really really tough league. I think everybody knows it on the team. The guys who played in the league, the guys who haven't even played in the league yet, but I think everybody knows that it's a tough league to to win. Everybody's playing really really good right now. And so if we want to be able to, be competitive, in this league, we have to take steps up. We know what we have to do better. It's not like we're, oblivious to it. We know that we have to be better defensively. We have to, be more clear on the offense end. And so it's really just the mentality to, continue on. Obviously, last night was a heartbreaker. We wish we could have won that game, but we didn't. And so, it's time to focus on the next game and, try to do everything we can to go ahead and get a win at Grand Canyon.
Robbie, you got me fired up. I'm ready to go. Last question. Christmas in Chicago with the family. What's it look like?
It's just a lot of family time. I think, the biggest thing that I enjoy is just being around, a lot of my family that I don't see a lot, nowadays. Obviously being, a college athlete, you're away from home, pretty much, the whole year, especially in basketball, you play in both semesters. Some sports, you get, you're just the first semester. The other sport, you're just in the second semester. But basketball goes, pretty much like a 10-month season when you start in in the summer, and you go all the way to maybe March if you're lucky, May. And so it's pretty much a 10-month season. And so with Christmas and any holidays, I just really enjoy the family time. The quality time I get to spend with my siblings, my parents, my grandparents, and all my cousins and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. They ask me, my mom's side of the family are huge. Robbie fans, they really love to watch me play. And so, I always got a bunch of younger cousins that ask me a ton of questions. And so, I enjoy that stuff. They really hit me with some hard ones too. They start asking me some stuff, but yeah, no, we just get together, share food, share gifts, and, really just spend time with each other.
Is there a favorite Christmas food that's your go-to?
No, it's not as big as like what I am with
Spritz cookies,
Thanksgiving.
none of those good ones?
My grandma makes these like sugar cookies that she decorates. I really love. Those are awesome. But I've been trying to stay away from those. As of recent years.
Maybe
But
sneak one or two.
I usually get one or two of them because she'll blow me up with questions about what she should bake this year, what she shouldn't bake this year, and I tell her just bake whatever you want, I'll eat it. And so I do enjoy what my family makes.
Robbie, you're doing great. I couldn't be more proud to have you here helping us lead this thing. We're going to get it right, and when we get to that pinnacle, although you're going to be this calm, smooth guy, but I know inside you'll be fired up and ready. So great job. It's awesome to have you, and we'll do it again.
All right, let's keep doing it.
All right, Billiken fans, until we do it again, have a great holiday season, and go Bills.
Thanks for listening to From the Stands with Billiken Athletic Director Chris May. Subscribe to our podcast in the iTunes Store and have the latest episodes sent straight to your phone. Go Billikens!